getting there.
Nice.
All right, I clicked on your thing.
Okay, guys, we're live. Okay, so let's get this party started. Okay, this is the Irish Podcast, episode 32. 32. You know who I am. I am the Titanfall Princess, your host of the Irish Podcast. And we're going to start with the panel introducing themselves and once again telling us what they've been playing. Of course, Dimitri's at work, so since he's not with somebody right now, we're going to let him go first so that way, in case he gets a customer.
Of course, I
So go
got
ahead, Demetrius.
see. Here's the thing. Here, of course, I got to go first. Okay, you always gotta let the king go first. You always gotta let
You
the
ain't no
king
king. You
go
need to stop
first,
that now.
motherfucker. Like for real, you gotta let me go first. Lords of Eclipse, everybody, you know how this is, or you know who this is. The King of Gods, God of everything. That's how I am. I'm signing in for this nice podcast we're gonna do. Let's have some fun tonight, everybody. 200 subscribers. Let's keep going.
Sounds good. All right, guys. Next we got up Rambo. Introduce yourself and tell us what you've been playing.
What's going on, guys? Rainbow's Corner here, and I've been playing really a lot of Mad Max, just trying to get the platinum on it, and I guess I moved. I guess playing a little bit of Trials Fusion as well too, trying to see if I can possibly manage past the frustrations of Trials Fusion and get the platinum on it as well.
Okay. And then we also have another guest that is back again, which is Frozen Magma.
Thanks for having me, Titanfall Princess. Great to be here. I've been on Tekken, Injustice 2, Fire Emblem Awakening on the 3DS. I've been on Mario Kart for Switch, ARMS for the Switch. And speaking of ARMS, I did a review for ARMS, so make sure y'all go check that out.
Okay. All right, guys, just so you know, we do have somebody else that's supposed to be coming in. He'll probably be late. He's on his way back from work, so he'll show up when he gets here. Okay. So let's move on. Okay. To our first topic. Okay. To me, Sony held back their games they wanted to show off at E3 this year, and they said it. And before the article came out, I already said it last week. Okay. Sony didn't need too much to win E3. They really don't right now, except to show off a few games. And again, why go guns blazing when your competition showed nothing but multiplayer games? Honestly. Now, this leaves me question. Since Sony held back at E3, what games can Sony announce in their upcoming shows that they're going to do? Because you know they're going to do some more. What games can they announce?
Can I go?
Whoever wants to go first, go ahead. Floor's open.
They're probably going to show the new game that From Software is making. People think it's going to be like another Bloodborne, but I think it's going to be a new game. Probably Sucker Punch's new game. That's all. They said that game's like they've already played it. We'll probably get to see like more of the stuff we haven't seen yet, like Shenmue 3. Like, I know it's not new, but we haven't seen anything. Same thing with Death Stranding. We haven't seen anything on that. It's a lot they could do. The Avengers game, I know that's not really a Sony IP, but we still haven't seen that. I'm not sure. Are you just making this just for Sony, or are you making it games that they will show?
No, this is for Sony. What games Sony will show for their console, basically?
I think they're going to show off the new Tomb Raider. I think that'll be shown off because they haven't shown the new Tomb Raider off. I think they're the ones that's going to get that deal. They're going to show off that Avengers game that Square Enix is working on. We might get that rumored Shenmue collection. And then probably some maybe like old school remasters and things like that. We probably might see, but I don't know. It's like, aside from Sucker Punch and From Software, I don't really see them doing anything more. Probably a lot more VR stuff. Even though they showed us VR, we'll probably see more of that. And then we might finally see the new handheld that they're probably in the works of doing, because they might be doing a new handheld.
Okay, that's a lot, but that's still a lot. Rambo, what do you think? What do you think, Rambo?
Well, I think he's pretty much right with the From Software and the Sucker Punch. The Shenmue 3, I think I think you have a better chance of Final Fantasy VII Remake actually being shown, and I don't think that's even going to be there. I think that's really the only two new IPs. Maybe like you said, the Tomb Raider one, because that's rumored to be with Sony. Really, I mean, there's not really a whole lot that they that I feel like maybe I think they'll do a lot more VR there, but I don't think there's really a whole lot that they have to show off because they have 2018 pretty much well taken care of as far as releases go. So I think that what you would see coming from PSX would be something that maybe would be releasing in, I would even say probably 2019, and it's kind of maybe Sucker Punch's game is closer and it could actually be released next year, but. Man, if they release that title, whatever they're working on, along with all the other titles that's releasing first half of 2017, it's going to be just. I don't know if I can afford it.
They did say it's like it's rumored to be open world, so I don't think that game close to being done. I'm kind of getting tired of open world.
What y'all talking about?
We're talking about Sony holding back at E3 because they really didn't need to do much. And what do you think? What games do you think they can announce in the future?
I mean,
to go
like,
back
to be honest with you, like
wait, can Rambo finish up? He was still talking.
To go back to like what you said about Sony holding back at E3, like I know that they didn't really technically have to show much or whatever, but I really wish that they would have. I think that like basically remastering their 2016 conference was a safe bet on their end, but yet I really would have liked to have seen something we didn't know besides that, the Shadow of Colossus remaster, remake, or whatever. I would have loved to have seen actually some sort of progress on anything else other than the same games we saw last year. So I feel like that, especially with Jim Ryan's comments here lately, that maybe Sony might be getting to that point of cockiness, and that kind of worries me.
Yeah, we don't want them getting comfortable over there.
No, not at all.
All right, go ahead, Demetrius. What did you want to say?
Oh shit, man, I'm tired. Like I said, man, I said this last week on the podcast. Sony and Microsoft's E3 was garbage. I did not like any of the shit, but two things Sony showed. Shit that was recycled that I already knew that was coming out, but I was impressed. Like I said, I was glad to see more gameplay to God of War. Like I said, I could do without the little kid, whatever the fuck, but like Frozen said last week, it just like a lot of people are making this whole Last of Us shit, so they always got to have a sidekick with them now. So it this shit is going to take me a while to get used to. Spider-Man was something I'm very, very curious about. I really like Spider-Man. I'm not a Marvel person, but I always like Spider-Man. So that's cool, but like I said, Sony didn't do shit for E3. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Sony E3 was not good. Microsoft's E3 was just trash too. They showing fucking games that can run on your cell phone. You got motherfuckers in Microsoft bragging about 4K. 4K what? Your shit is not true 4K. Whatever, man. I'm just saying, for Sony, they need to worry about 2017 instead of just talking about games that are coming out next year. Now, from my understanding, I know they got games that are coming out this year, like exclusives, like they got Destiny 2, whatever.
That's not exclusive.
I'm talking about exclusive content. I wasn't even finished. I was talking about exclusive content. Okay, they got exclusive content or whatever. And then they got some more shit going on this year, I guess, with Star Wars Battlefront and all that cool shit. But
they got Gran Turismo and NAC.
Is Gran Turismo even coming out this year? Or next
year? It's coming out this year, and NAC is coming out this year too.
November of 2017 is whenever Gran Turismo is coming out.
I think they're doing this shit to compete with Forza 7. But like I said, man, like I'm looking forward to a lot of stuff Sony is doing. I hope they do, better than what they are doing because, like I said, I don't see that Xbox X, the stupid fucking name. I don't see that Xbox X doing any.
All right, guys, I just got to say something to people in the chat real quick. Listen, I apologize. You're telling me that it's buffering. That's actually YouTube.
Yeah, that's YouTube.
That would be YouTube.
Happens at YouTube.
Yeah, so sometimes
you guys quality, they'll be fine if they just lower their quality because you're not displaying anything on the screen, so they should be able to just hear us.
Okay, you heard what they said? They said try to lower your quality on your end, and it may help it some. Since we're not really putting up anything on the screen that's going to hurt anything. Okay, go ahead, Demetrius.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but anyway, so when you ain't got, but see, the funniest thing is about people on the side of Microsoft, the little Xbox fanboys. When you ain't got no games, they start talking about power.
All right, but you go. All right, you're going. Wait a minute, wait, Demetrius, you're going way ahead. We're talking. We was talking about Sony, and you keep bringing Microsoft. We're asking what games would you like? What games do you think Sony can announce that you'd like to see perhaps
Well,
them
somebody,
announce
baby, is
this
like
year
talking a
later
lot in
on?
the background. I cannot hear you.
Beginning when you asked me what we were talking about.
Well, you cut out a little bit too. All I heard was Sony and games, but yeah, that's pretty much it. But like I said, sorry about that. I'm tired a little bit too. But for games,
Talk
from
about babies arguing in the background when you're yawning and everybody can hear you when the people are talking. So you can't do that.
what?
Come on.
What?
Let's
Like,
just move, let's just move on to just move on with the podcast.
all right, whatever. That's fine.
All right. Well, for me, one thing I think Bloodborne 2 will be one of the games teased later this year. And to be honest, it wouldn't surprise me with that. Okay, a Bloodborne 2. They may show us maybe more of the Last of Us 2, or teaser more, maybe maybe closer to the date and what's going to happen. But one game, okay, that Sony needs for me this gen. I'm not saying this year, this gen. I'd like to see, and I don't care how they get it done. Is for me, I want to see a new SOCOM. What do you guys think?
I think
I haven't played SOCOM in a long time.
yeah, I think they need to put that joint on Kickstarter. That's the only way to get it done. Because
I think SOCOM was good for its time. I just think that it needs to be left back there. Maybe like you said, if it's a Kickstarter idea, but I don't think I wouldn't want to see Sony funding the project myself. I mean, it was a great game back then, but I think
I'll take it over Killzone Resistance. It's
Oh,
way
definitely,
better
yeah.
than
I mean,
this.
yeah, I'm definitely not going to argue against that, but I'd rather them focus on something else if they're going to be putting money into something. I'll let the Kickstarter handle the SOCOM thing if that's actually ever going to happen.
Yeah, Sony doesn't have their own shooter. You notice that?
Well, they do, but it's not popular. I mean, not that I know of. I mean, Killzone.
Yeah, Killzone's not going to be like what anybody considers like a Sony shooter, you know.
Yeah, I never heard anyone talk about Killzone over Halo. I never heard that a day in my life. So, yeah, I never found any person say Killzone is better than Halo. But everyone has their own opinion. But I just never heard of it. So to me, Sony needs to. If you guys want to go out on the FPS route, because I mean, pretty much in this world, a lot of people play shooting games anyway. So, if Sony wants to make an FPS, I mean, they gotta. I mean, but if you're talking about their own game, then yeah, Sony should make something like that. But I don't know what they would do. A lot of people into the space shit, so you would think Sony, if they make a first-person shooter game, it would be some space shit, you know, kind of like Destiny, kind of like Halo, shit like that. I mean, they do it with Killzone already. But I mean, it's up to Sony. You know, it's however they would do it. But to me, Sony, they're more of a company that focuses on more platformers and RPG based. To me, Xbox, it was always the shooter console, and shooter and racer console. I never really found Sony to be more of a shooting console. You know, for shooters, I found it more for platformers. So that's how I look at it. But everyone sees it different.
Everybody's entitled to how they feel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Does anybody else want to add to that before we move on?
I know he said no a couple times. They asked him to do it, and he said no. Yoshida.
All right, guys. I may have to resend out the link and start this. Do take two because nobody's saying they can't hear us at all, and we're dropping. So give me 3 minutes, and we'll take care of it. All right, I'm going to try to reboot this. I'm going to try to start this over again. Give me a second.